Good morning, students. So today we'll be starting with another topic, that is software quality. So we have basically understood the term quality earlier also. We have done quality attributes, but we are going to elaborate more on quality today. So what does a quality mean? In a normal sense, we say if something is going to fulfill all your requirements, right? Requirement in the sense for which you are making something, all the functionality or your expectations are getting fulfilled, then we say it is a quality product. So the term used is fitness of purpose. So fitness of purpose is for the purpose for which you have made an application, it is going to fulfill all those requirements. If it is fulfilling, ultimately it will be a quality one. But in terms of software, if I say just fitness of purpose is sufficient to define the quality? No. With hardware it is true, but with software we have other parameters also which contributes to quality other than fitness of purpose, right? So what are those? We'll be elaborating those here, right? We can say that few of them are being discussed here, like portability. Say I have developed a software and it is running on my terminal, but when I try to work or install that in another terminal, maybe a mobile device or a web or any other workstation, and it's not working there, so how will I say it's a quality product? It should satisfy the functions or the requirements of all set of stakeholders, right? So portability means for all users in their workstation it must work well. So it must be portable. Usability. Usability is how friendly it is or how easy to use it is, right? So you have developed the entire software, all the functionalities are implemented, but user is not able to understand or use it effectively because it is not understandable, right? So you have to make it user friendly so that he can effectively use your system and fulfill his requirements. Reusability. Now what is reusability? Reusability is whatever components you are making into your system that can be reusable in the same project at some other location or maybe in some other project which is going on in the organization. So that is reusable. See, we always try our components or modules which are developed to be reusable in nature, and we have seen reusability is achieved with the help of two concepts. If we have high cohesion and low coupling, then the module is reusable in nature, right? Correctness. Correctness is whatever functions customer has specified, it should be correctly implemented as it is stated by the customer. You cannot assume something and make it on your own, or you can make the modification. Exactly the same what customer has stated. Maintainability is also an important factor because we need to update our system now and then due to some other reasons, so it should be maintainable. There must be scope of making the changes in your software. So these are the major parameters. Now let's see how does quality system evolved, from where the concept came into existence. See the left part, that is quality assurance method. Earlier, long back we are talking about, what was the method used was inspection. Whenever you develop any product, right, commonly applicable to hardware and software, whenever we develop, say let's assume hardware product only, we prepared a toy, right? Now we are going to inspect whether it is going to work. For example, say we have that pitchkaris, right? We make that pitchkari, right? Now when that product is developed, we are going to inspect it manually, whether it is going to throw the water with that pressure and it reaches the one to whom you are trying to, right? So that is inspection, whether it will work properly or not, or whether that trigger is working or not and all that. That is inspection. That means we are working on the product side. Quality paradigm says we are working on the product, right? So we simply inspect it. If it is working properly, we accept it, else we reject it. We discard the wrong ones, right? We never go on improving it. That is inspection. If it is working properly, keep it with you, else discard it. That is a waste. Then with time, this there is a change. We shifted from inspection to quality control. Quality control is when you inspect it and you find that a product is not working properly. So we try to make the changes. We modify it so that you can make it work. We are not going to discard it. We'll be making the changes, few changes which are applicable, right? So in that way, you're improving it. You're improving your product. That is quality control. Earlier the quality was less, or it was least because it wasn't working properly, but you made changes, and now it is working properly. So we are controlling the quality. The quality is getting increased from low to high. Okay? So this was the shift. But even then, we are working on the product side only. We are working on the end product. Then came is quality assurance. Quality assurance means it must ensure that the product you are developing will repeatedly give you the high quality outcome, right? Quality assurance, or the product you are developing, okay, we call it as QA, quality assurance. It must ensure that repeatable high quality software development will be there, right? That means you must have a process in place, and if you have a proper process in place and you use it rigorously, ऐसा नहीं है कि you have the process and you're not using it. You have to properly utilize it, and once you utilize that process, it is bound to give you a quality product, right? So that is assurance. It ensures that you will get high quality software development again and again. So it depends upon what? It depends upon the process. So we slightly shifted our focus from product to process domain now, from quality assurance. And moving ahead, we have total quality management, TQM. Total quality management is whatever process you have, though you are following it and it is giving you a quality product, but that also needs improvement, right? So total quality management focus on continuous improvement. So let's assume that in a class, say you have scored a first rank in a semester, right? So you have to maintain it in the subsequent semester also. So in the first semester you scored highest, right? Say it is 90, somewhere around 91, right? So next time you have to maintain that 90. ऐसा नहीं है कि degradation when you now score percentage in 80s in your another semester, but you have to maintain that level, and even you have to improve it. If you're not going to improve it, other students, since they have scored less, they'll try to work upon it and they will jump and score higher than you. But so this is what is, though once you have achieved the highest percentage in your class, you have to strive for achieving more higher level. There is no limit to that, right? So that is total quality management, continuous improvement on the process, right? So ultimately we are working on the process part. So you can see that if I summarize this, the method was, earlier it was inspection, where we accept or we reject. Quality control says improve the product so that it can work now. Assurance means once you have developed the high quality product, each time if you're going to use the same process, it must give you a quality product only. This assurance must be there. And quality management says continuous process improvement. So this was the shift that has been you can say viewed in the quality domain. So we have moved from product assurance to process assurance. Now we have certain benchmarks, right? So in each and every field, with respect to software or the products, you can see we have ISO 9000, a sort of certification. It is a consortium of 63 countries which helps to formulate and foster standardization, right? So ISO, everyone is known to it, is International Standard Organization. This 9000 is a series which works for the product. For what purpose? To formulate and foster standardization, right? This 9000 series was given in 1987, and the basic purpose of this ISO certification, ISO 9000 certification, act as a contract between the independent parties. Like for example, if you look about organization, even talk about your college also, you have, earlier we were ISO certified, we have that benchmarking, Then now as we are converted into university, so we follow the norms of UGC now, right? So we have different benchmarks, right? So we have to improve in that area also. So what does this benchmark actually represents? Thus, if you have or you achieve this certification, what exactly it focuses, it gives you the guideline for maintaining a quality system, right? They have their norms and clauses, and you have to follow or fulfill all those norms and clauses. So ultimately, that certification will be given to you, and it states that it's a quality one, right? So ISO 9000 is for quality. So it works on, or it mainly addresses the operational aspect and organizational aspects such as responsibility and reporting. That means documentation is very important. You have to fulfill all the criterias, have relevant document in place and everything, right? ISO specifies a set of guidelines for repeatable and high quality product development, right? So it's not that maintaining a quality system. Once you have maintained it, but then you have to improve this also. Repeatedly you have to get the high quality software development. Along with this, it has the guidelines for production process also. How you're going to improve, what you're going to improve, ultimately the process, right? So it has guidelines for the process only. So in a nutshell, we can say this ISO 9000 is a certification which helps focus on the quality part of an organization, right? This is specifically meant for the product, both hardware as well as software product. But we'll see what is the difference. We have different series also, just slight modification, like ISO 9001, 9002 and 9003. We have 3 series of ISO 9000 quality standard. So ISO 9001 applies to those organizations which are engaged in designing, development, production and servicing of goods. So these are the key terms. Designing, that means it has the clause for design, development, production and servicing. So applicable to both the industries, hardware as well as software. Production is a hardware part, while designing, development is specifically for software. Design can be for hardware and software both. So this is how servicing of goods could be both, right? So ultimately, overall, if we talk about ISO 9001, the clauses are applicable for hardware and software both. But when we talk about ISO 9002, this is specifically meant for production, right? So production is hardware oriented part. So it has clause for hardware. While ISO 9003 focus for installation and testing, right? So installation and testing will be applicable to both hardware and software. But the question arises, if we have clause for hardware and software, right? Do we consider hardware and software to be the same entities? No, they are entirely different. So how can the same clauses be applicable to them? For example, if I say the raw material, we have a clause for the raw material in case of hardware. Say you want to assemble a computer, right? So what you'll do is you'll take the components which is of a good quality, benchmark, like I'll take processor of X company, motherboard of another company, right? Intel hona chahiye, X hona chahiye, Y hona chahiye, right? We know that components, if from a particular brand you are selecting it, it is a quality one. So the clauses are applicable for hardware. What about software? What is the raw material? Now the raw material for software is simply the data. Now can I say X data is good and Y data is bad? No. Data is unprocessed information, right? How can I segregate the data as high quality or less quality, or a brand or unbrand, whatever it is? No, it cannot be. So how come the clause applicable for the raw materials are applied to both hardware and software? It's not possible, right? Though commonly few clause could be or norms could be applicable, but not all. So that is why apart from these 3, we have another one, ISO 9000 part 3, which is specifically meant for software development only. It has the clauses for software industry, right? Now why to obtain this ISO 9000 certification? The first point is confidence of customer. If something is certified, right, we definitely show our full focus on that particular item. Say if you want to go on for buying an electrical equipment in the market and it is ISI marked, right? And another product I have, though the cost is less, but it is not ISI marked. Which will I opt for? Or which will I buy? Definitely, since it is an electrical equipment, safety is the priority, though the cost is more, but I'll go for ISI mark. So, what is this? Confidence of customers. ISI mark क्या है? एक benchmark है. It states that it is properly tested and it is going to work properly. The other product which is not ISI mark, maybe it could be fatal. Electric shock could be there. It could happen, right? So it increases the customer's confidence. Then ISO 9000 requires well documented software production process to be in place. So if you have a process in place, it is well documented, right? And you're rigorously following it. Definitely it is bound to give you repeatable and high quality software development, right? So ISO 9000 kya hai? It states that you should have a proper process in place which is well documented and followed. So ultimately a quality product will be developed. It also makes the development process focused, efficient and cost effective, because systematically you're going, like SDLC is an example, systematically a disciplined approach. As per the plan you're moving and developing it. So ultimately you're focused. You have to develop a software with this stages. So if definitely it is going to, your work on prevention part, we are trying to prevent the error in each and every step. So finally you get a quality product only. Right? And as per plan you're moving, so definitely you'll try to complete your work on time, so cost will be also effective. There won't be extra delays, right, or cost overrun. Then one major point of ISO 9000 certification is point out the weak points of an organization and also recommends the remedial action for that, right? So what does this mean? Let's talk about when we are into phase of applying for university. For Graphic Era Institute of Technology, we were earlier GEIT. Now we are a university, GEU, Graphic Era deemed to be university. So when we are applying for that, so the organization who was looking after this, the governing body, certification authority, they were looking on the process, how everything, infrastructure and everything. So one point was, they have stated, ki, okay, we have so much of area. You can see the main campus, then this CSIT block. So this CSIT block, though it is a part of Graphic Era, but it was not considered in the campus because it was outside the main campus. So this is the weak point they have suggested, that this is not considered to be in the bounded or closed area of the Graphic Era. It's outside that. So what is the remedial action they have given? You can have an underpass. That is there is a tunnel between main campus and CSIT block. So this was the remedial action given. If we have an underpass, this building will be considered to be part of our main building. So this is what they focus on, right? So they points the weak point, whatever we are weak at, and they also suggest the remedial action, and we are supposed to improve in that area ultimately, right? So it's good. Then ISO 9000 sets the basic framework for TQM, right? It says that, okay, you must have a proper process in place, it should be well documented, it must be used rigorously, right? So basic part is done. But what beyond this? Continuous process improvement that leads to TQM, that was not present in ISO 9000. We were not working on process improvement part. So it was just working till having a process well documented and using it, not beyond this. So ये सिर्फ एक basic framework provide कर रहा है कि if you work on this part, it may lead to TQM in future if you have process improvement, but it doesn't lead, actually achieves TQM. Right? So we'll see few of the shortcomings of ISO 9000 certification. The first one is, it says you must have a proper process in place, but it never guarantees that process to be of high quality. Right? Process must be there, but कौन सा process use करना है वो guarantee कभी नहीं करेगा कि this is going to be a good one. Right? You have to identify it yourself. Second one is, it's not foolproof. What does this foolproof means? There are n number of organizations in India itself who are giving this certification. Right? And each and every governing body had different clauses and norms. So it cannot be considered to be a standard one. If there was just single governing body and that is giving the certification, that is considered to be a standard one. But since different organizations are giving, हर एक clause different, ultimately there is a variation in the standardization. Third one is it downplays domain expertise. See, once you get the certification, you feel, oh, we got it and everything is good now, and you stop working in that area, right? This is what downplay domain expertise. Say, once you achieve a highest marks in your class, we stop working in that. A sort of feeling is the human tendency, right? And others, since they have scored less, they'll improve and they'll get score more in the next semester than you. So you don't have to downplay domain expertise. You have to continuously work for that. Achieve higher. And the fourth one is it does not lead to TQM. It provides the basic framework, you can say, but it never achieves it. So this was the shortcoming of ISO 9000 certification. Now another, we have SEI, capability maturity model. So this is also one of the model used in software development, but this is not actually for development. It is used for assessing the capability of an organization, how well or how capable they are to give you a quality product. So SEI stands for Software Engineering Institute. Software Engineering Institute of Carnegie Mellon University, USA. They have given this model named Capability Maturity Model, right? It helps the organization to improve the quality of the software they develop, and therefore adoption of SEI CMM model has significant business benefit, right? Ultimately, if you are giving a quality product, it will give you business also. So this is used for this. Now the basic two purpose of using it. First one is capability evaluation, right? Capability evaluation of what? It is a way to access the software process capability of an organization. How capable your process is, the process that you're adopting in your organization to give a quality product. And the second one is software process assessment, right? Software process assessment is used by an organization with the objective to improve its process capability, right? In the first one, you're going to evaluate how much capable it is, and in the second one, you're going to improve that process capability, right? So what does it states actually? SEI CMM gives us 5 maturity levels. 5 maturity levels of what? Organization. Whatever organization, software development organizations we have, they belongs to either of the maturity level, right? Say 5 maturity levels are initial, repeatable, defined, managed, and optimized. So any organization which exists, those who are developing the software, belongs to anyone. Say if you have any startup, right, then startup belongs to an initial maturity level. That the process they have, it is very trivial, right? It's not like we have other organizations, we'll talk about those also. Say, let's talk about Infosys, Wipro and all. At what level they stands? What do you think? Right? They just works on this defined level only. That means they have a process in place which is well defined and documented and used. So they achieve this level. They never achieve the optimized level, that is total quality management. So each and every organization, based on the capability of the process they have or they use, belongs to one of this particular level. So organizations belongs to this level based on their capability. So this maturity level actually works for the software development organization, right? Along with this, I'll just state with the help of this, right? This is one of the table, right, where we have written the levels here. Focus is determines what we are using in this particular level, right? While key processing areas, the spelling mistake is here, areas, the key processing areas focus on which area we must work now to improve our process, right? Focus means अभी क्या चल रहा है, what we are using it. की प्रोसेसिंग एरिया कि हमें और क्या करना चाहिए सो दैट वी जंप टू नेक्स्ट हायर लेवल, राइट. बेसिकली की प्रोसेसिंग एरिया स्टेट क्या करता है, इफ से रिपीटेबल, if you focus more on planning, configuration management, and you work upon it and fulfill this criteria, you will achieve next higher level. If you're working on define, that means there is a definition of process, but if you work on these three, process definition, training program and peer reviews, you will jump to next higher level, right? So we have to improve our process. Once you know you are at this level, you focus on something which will take you to the next higher level, right? So everyone is striving for highest level, that is optimized level. So let's talk about initial first of all. What does initial states is? Initial level, the focus area is of the competent people. That means in a startup, say we have just 1 or 2 members only, and the entire software development task is done by those people, competent or skilled people, right? You don't have any proper process in place. Just the people who are working are skilled, experienced, and they're able to complete their task and give you a quality product. That is initial level. No management, no process, nothing exists in that case. So we don't have any key processing area for initial level, right? It totally depends upon the skill set of the people involved. Well, repeatable, as the name suggests, you have to give high quality software repeatedly, again and again. So what should be there? What is present here is project management. If we know that what is project management, SPM, software project management, if we make a proper plan and then we continuously follow that plan, continuous monitoring is in place, the ultimately your work will be completed on time, right? And again you will be getting the quality product because you have a proper process which is well managed, right? But if you focus on more planning, right? Software project planning is there, rigorously you followed it, and we have configuration management also in place. Now you know what is configuration management. We have done it in the previous lecture, you can refer it there. Quickly I'll summarize. It is a process, a management process, where if you want to make changes in any of the deliverable of your software, that is document, then you should have a proper process in place, right? Which is going to affect less on other things, like proper all the deliverables is known as, the state of any deliverable is known as configuration, and managing the changes in all those document is done through software configuration management in that case. So if you focus on this, you will be attaining the next higher level, that is defined. So what is defined? That you must have a proper process which is well defined and documented, right? This is the focus area. Now what is a key processing area for this? Proper definition must be exact, right? Now if you have that process but no one knows how to use it, it's useless. So you should give trainings, right, to how to use this particular process, and once you train, then you check whether it is working well, whether they have understood or not. So we carry out reviews also, whether the people have understood and they are trying to use it, are they effectively using it. So if you focus on this area, ultimately then you can attain next higher level, that is managed. Now what is managed says? See, you have a process in place, लेकिन हमें ये नहीं पता है कि how effective it is. We just have it and we are using it. So once you know where do you stand at the current level, then only you can improve for that. अगर हमें ये नहीं पता है कि I scored 80 or 90 in the class, how will I strive for 100? Right, that is an ideal case, but still more than where you stand. So you must know where you actually stand. So that means you have to measure it. Whatever process you have to get the metrics for that. You have to measure. The metrics is of two types, product metrics and process metrics, which helps us to quantify how much quality we have attained or how much capable a particular process is. So you have to quantify that, right? So the key processing area is, if you have quantitative process metrics available and proper quality management processes in place, then you can attain the next high level, that is optimizing. Now what is optimizing says? You have a process now in the previous defined level. Manage says you have measured it. Optimize says now you know your current level, now improve it. So that is continuous process improvement that leads to TQM, right? So what is the focus area for this? Defect prevention, process change management, technology change management. So if you work on these three areas, preventing the defects and proper change management for the process and the technology, if it is there, that means you are continuously improving your process and technology as per the demand, right, or as per the market trend. So ultimately you are improving your process, you may lead to TQM, right? So this is what SEI CMM model. So ultimately organizations are evaluated based on this, at what particular level they stand at the current scenario and on which particular part they must focus upon in future so that they can attain the next higher level, right? Now comes is, what is the difference between ISO 9000 and CMM? ISO 9000 we know is a certification. Some standard body is going to give us some certificate, right? But CMM is just an internal thing, right? It does not certify, but it helps you to assess the capability of an organization to produce a high quality software. So internal use है कि हम अपने process को improve कर सकते हैं with the help of the CMM model, but it is not going to certify anything. Second one is, CMM is specifically meant for software industry only, while ISO 9000 was applicable to wide range of product, that is hardware as well as product. Third one is, CMM goes beyond quality assurance and prepare an organization to ultimately achieve TQM. So CMM says it leads to TQM, while ISO 9000 only achieves the level 3 that is defined, right? While the fourth one is, CMM also provides us the key processing area on which a particular organization must focus and work upon to attain the next higher level, but that is not present in ISO 9000. So this was all about your quality, right? Just go through it. In case of any doubt, you can ask in the doubt session. Thank you for today.